Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So new chess cards, right? We have the new Light and Darkness Dragon support, Fusion, 2 level 8s, which basically have a built-in Kashtera-like special summoning effect. What is it? By banishing a level 8 dragon type, level 8 synchro basically from your extra deck. Mainly, right? So that's why the light and at least the dark and the light synchro dragons are there to be sent to your banished pile. Basically a free special summon from your hand. So it's basically a rank 8 toolbox. This is an update to the Galaxy deck, I guess Tachyon deck I uploaded last week or 2 weeks ago. I was actually playtesting a variant of this that was more focused on like this combination, using the new Tachyon Dragon to give it to your opponent. This made it so very similar to, what is it, Chen and Ken, that your opponent activated the card, so you were able to use Thrust and Talents. But it was the same day that the TCG ban list was released, so I never, got to make a video about the update. But basically use the same build but updated, with these Light and Darkness Dragon cards. Again, first of all, they are focused on rank 8, as it was with the Tachyon support, the new Galaxy Eye support. While on the other hand, they also have a built-in fusion capability to freely get that new Light and Darkness Dragon fusion out on the field. Very similar to the OG Light and Darkness Dragon, you are forced to negate. And that could be problematic. You will see why in a few moments. So you could potentially negate your own cards, as it was with the OG Light and Darkness Dragon. The problem though is that like with these engines, and I'm looking at Tachyon as well, like the Sword Shield Dragon, some of the cards have like a built-in restriction that as soon as you use, for example, Sword Shield, you're blocked from the fusion summoning effect or capability. So you're not able to go for the Light and Darkness Dragon during the same turn. But then again, is that a reason to not run the Sword Shield? I don't think so. It's a solid one-card starter, the left card here in hand. So first of all, force out any hand trap with, what is it, the smaller dragons, right? And then drop the Sword Shield and, go from there. Basically one card rank 8 combos. And then depending on which cards you're main decking in your extra deck, you're able to search out basically double of the counter trap, which again gives you the capability to activate it from the hand directly if you control your Tachyon Dragon, the rank 8 exceed. And again, the cool nifty thing is that this kind of build abuses more because of Thrust, because of Talents, giving your opponent a Tachyon Dragon, and then they activated the card effect, so you can capitalize on Thrust and Talents, maybe get a peek at their hand, get something back to your hand, and so on. So this is a fairly standard board. You have Titanic Galaxy. Sadly, the thing here is that getting out, what is it, the Photon Lord, the one that negates monster effects, is super hard. In the previous Galaxy Ice deck, you're able to get it out during your opponent's turn with a trap, because again, most effects, some of the more crucial effects, block you into dragon types for the turn, and sadly Photon Lord, what is it, is a warrior type, so that's a small bummer. But it is what it is. The Bestials are there for some form of interruption. Lubellion itself is also a rank 8, plus you run in the continuous spell, what is it, the branded Regained, to give you an extra draw. Again, with like, what is it, the level 4 dragon, banish itself, get something back, works fantastic. So this deck is of course much more powerful when the Bestials are, heavily or strong in the meta. But now looking at full power Snake Eyes, Bestials don't do that much. Diamond Star, okay. So anyway, playing through a couple of negation boards. I'm not a huge fan of Trade-in, but I guess it's one of those few outs to search off of Trust. And because you're running so many level 8 monsters, it's not that hard to discard one, to draw 2, and so on. Right, so get out. The Dark, I guess, is the better one. It pops very similar to the OG level 8 synchro. What is it? Your opponent's strongest attack position monster. So here in this case it would have been Shishao, yeah. Or any attack position monster. I think you can choose, yeah, something like that. Here the Magnamut actually comes in clutch. I am able to search out Sword Shield during my end phase, and if there is no follow-up play by Sword Soul here, I'm still in a duel. And that's the case, because again the 10 yuan does not help, right, in this situation. The card that I just drew is also one of the new dragon types. It's level 3, but as soon as you drop a higher level dragon, you can drop that one from hand and make it a level 8, and then copy the attribute of one of your banished dragons. So that's either light or dark. that could be important because you can only fusion summon for your Light and Darkness Dragon by fusioning very specific a level 8 Light and Dark Dragon type. So that's quite a restriction, and I'm not maximizing on the level 3. Again, most obvious reasons, because on its own it's not really a starter card. It's an okay extender, right? And that's the thing, and I think it's the next replay, is dropping, and that's the thing, if you're able to, or if you are allowed or able to pick, is either you should go for the Fusion Summon or the rank 8 toolbox. I think going for the rank 8 toolbox is better, because the Light and Darkness Dragon can have, what is it, up to 3, maybe even 4 negates. And sometimes that's really not enough. Like for this example, but on the other hand, if your opponent already used their hand traps to prevent your rank 8 engine from coming through, ending on the Light and Darkness Dragon is fantastic, because you know they're left with maybe 2, 3, 4 cards in hand after they use their hand traps. Then the Light and Darkness Dragon comes in really clutch. So I think this was 3 negates, because very similar, you're also losing defense. Very similar to the OG Light and Darkness Dragon, you're also sacrificing defense. And this is the problem I faced as well. The thing is that your Light and Darkness Dragon fusion will always activate in response, so that's always chain link 2. And I already had situations where you had, let's say, 2 of the counter trap and the Light and Darkness Dragon on field and your opponent activating cards. The first ones obviously will get negated by the fusion, but as soon as it doesn't have any defense left to be dropped, right, for something to negate, it will always still act as chain link 2. So you're not able to use your counter trap after that, because again, your Light and Darkness Dragon will always come in between. And that's kind of like a big deal, because your counter trap, well, you know, you have to activate it. That's a small bummer, I guess. But I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, as I've mentioned before, again, if you have the choice to pick, should you go with the Fusion Summon first or the other rank 8 toolbox, I think the other rank 8 toolbox is much better. And if your opponent throws hand traps at you to prevent you from setting up your field, if you still have the level 8 fusion combo going, you should go for that, obviously. It's basically a backup plan. Especially grind games, that's where the Light and Darkness Dragon shines. Last example, going second against a full Snake Eyes combo, because that's still the weakness of this deck. You're not running any hand traps, maybe Ash, Imperm if you want, but that's basically it. There's not much room, you're running so many toolbox and engine cards. Okay, Thrust and Talents are there, but nowadays that's definitely not enough. Especially if Snake Eyes is able to end on, you know, multiple negations, multiple interruptions plus hand traps on their own. So this is actually a solid hand, a disgusting hand, but it's not going to be enough because of Droll. If it wasn't for Droll, I definitely would have had some answers. But yeah, Droll prevents me from adding Talents, and that's, you know, now it just goes downhill. Magnumwood getting the end phase surge, nope, because of Droll. And now the gazillion interruptions by Snake Eyes. So even though I think I'm going to empty my hands, but Snake Eyes just has multiple interruptions to prevent any rank 8 from coming through. So that's the deal. So I like the idea of, you know, giving your opponent a Tachyon Dragon that makes it so that they use the monster effect, use talents to get a peek at their hand, pick away their out for the board, and that's basically game with 1 or 2 counter traps, right? And maybe even Titanic Galaxy. So I like the hybrids. I like the idea also featuring Light and Darkness Dragon as a potential rank 8 toolbox or fusion play, right? For more negations. So again, feel free to leave suggestions. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Signing out. Peace.